Hi, so earlier we added um, event listener onto our document, onto our page. So when we uh, reload the page, we get 3 videos. So now let's add a function for those buttons next in previews. So there is a call, get pages. So let's get pages. So let's say pagination function, right? Pagination function get pages. Let's say it receives just an object. Well, this is actually this object, this being passed here. So we have here 2 buttons, right? Next in previews. We have 2 buttons. Let's log the object itself, and then we have next button, and then we have previous button, right? So when we log this object, we get this. Oh, let's log it. Reload the page. We get this, and we have here this thing, page next page token thing. So we would need to access this before let's go to and samples YouTube data API reference. Let's click on overview, and then we have right here try now. So click on JavaScript, and then let's see, somewhere here we have this information. As you see here, page token, we would need to add this into our URL link. So that's the first thing we need to do. Let's build the URL first. So we need to add this, right? Page token right in here. Page token equals, and then end. And then we can here add our tokens, token variables. So we would have 2 tokens, right? We have 2 buttons. Next token, and then we would need to create exactly the same later for the previous token. So let's leave it like this for now. So we've got next token now. How do we access it? Let's go back to console. Inside the object, we have next page token thing, key. When we access that, we get this value. So accessing that, let's call it next token, or maybe next page token. So in order to access that, we need to call we need to access obj, then next page token, right? So we get the value. And then we also have one more thing here, which is previews, and then this be simply previews. And in the documentation, it shows here we need to access this bold variables, and then we can work with pages. So now we've built URL. We accessed the next page token thing. We passed next page token to here. Oh, you see, that's the mistake. It wouldn't work then. We passed it to here. And let's see if everything works. We added page token here. Alright, so far we've built next page. We've accessed next page token and previous page token, and we've got here URL. And now let's create next page loading. So in order to load next page, we need to add event listener on next button, then load next page, right? And load next page. So function load next page, function load next page. Usually it's pretty similar to here, right? We're just loading the object like above, but here the URL will be slightly different. Let's add the whole thing to here so we don't need extra line here. Right here. And then so we don't actually need this because we already added it. And then if we go further, this will get, okay, when we click on next, this will get this next previous token from the current object on the page, which is this, and then it will pass it to the fetch function, parameter, and then this should go and grab the JSON. JSON changes it into object, and then object is reduced into title and frames. I think things are correct. Let's try it. So we reload the page. On the console you see reference error get page info. Well, we have not defined it yet, so never mind about this. So let's click on here, and then let's see, when we click on it, oh, look at this, very interesting. Three previous movies have not disappeared, they're just still on the same page, and we have added 3 more videos in here. So I think we don't want that, right? We just want 3 to appear instead of this previous 3, because if we want the previous videos, we can simply access them. So we need to clear the page. In order to clear the page, we would need to add, so this thing, okay, this is our video container, right? So this needs to be cleared every time in HTML, every time we call next page, right? So every time get pages function called, the video container, the page itself becoming empty, and then we're adding onto the page the new vids from the next page. Let's try it. again reload it. So we've got the first 3 pages with nice cars, and then when we click on next, we get next 3 cars, right? That's it, just 3 cars. So we don't, if you go previous, well, we haven't added the function yet, and we get the previous videos. By the way, this is a beautiful car. I've seen it in Beverly Hills many times. Gosh, that's a beautiful car. Yeah, let's go back to work. So far we have added next page loading button functionality, and then on the next video let's add previous page loading button functionality. Thank you so much.